So let's go ahead and get into this. The Australian Grand Prix has been a bit more flavorful in technical directives than in the racing and the sprint situation, which I will also have a video coming up later this week on what I think the sprint format should look like. But let's get into this floor situation because things have developed a bit more. I know there's a lot of chatter out there about Mercedes is also doing the same thing that Red Bull and Ferrari are speculated to have done. But I think now speculation has come down to something that is a reality. It's actually something that these teams are doing to manipulate their floors in order to get more performance over the rest of the teams that are not manipulating their floors in said way. So first, we're going to get into an image on the Mercedes floor. Now, there is some quirk, as you see this yellow arrow down there, some quirk about the floor being split into two sections. And that could be debatable that in a way, if you have more segments in any structure, that it therefore is more flexible. But this is not only solely exclusive to Mercedes. Other teams have also done the segmented floor, okay? But Mercedes is saying that their floor stiffness is within spec, which would technically mean they are meeting the flex. Now, I did see a report or a column where they were saying Total Wolf said the specs was 1 millimeter, but as we looked into the regs, it was 2 millimeters. So if he thinks it's 1 millimeter, does that quite possibly mean that Mercedes is running a stiff enough floor that they're not even meeting the 2 millimeter situation? Also, Toto welcomed the FIA's floor stiffness technical directive. So he says, hey, basically, we've already been that, and we've been working with those regulations, so our floors are within spec all the way. That's what he's saying. There's also a section that is questionable to the floor that has not anymore at this time been speculation. This is an actual fact that teams are doing this, and it's not so much the actual part. It's the actual way that they've manipulated this part to function, whether it be by its material or by actual movement. I think it's more about the material and the wear. This skid plate that you see in this circle, basically, there are teams that have used the material or found some way for this skid to disappear during the race. All right. So you know that if you don't know, there are certain measurements that are taken on the plank in order to adhere to the thickness spec. If you have this area with this skid taken before it's worn out in the race, then you would meet spec. If it disappears during the race, now you're out of spec and within that 9 millimeter wear. We talked about this, right? We talked about the 10 millimeter plus or minus 0.2, and given certain circumstances, you would have as minimum or as low as 9 millimeters of wear that would be allowable before the plank would need to be changed within race situations, I believe. I don't think you're going to be able to come before a race and get it measured at 9 millimeters, and they're going to say, okay, I think that 9 millimeter wear, in my understanding or how I'll take it, is that if it wears to 9 millimeters at some portion during this race or maybe even during qualifying, we'll accept it. I don't know at what point they'll stop it. What's the water tower, right? Like where, at what point can we find 9 millimeters and you be out of it? And also how frequent are these checks throughout a race weekend, right? Are we checking at practice or after practice, before qualifying, after qualifying? I think there needs to be a procedure put in place like that. I don't care about people saying the excessive man hours and all of this other bullshit. If this is what needs to go on, just like the ABA situation that we're going to talk about later on in the week, if you're going to be observing or monitoring teams to make sure and ensure that this technical directive is put in place and it is adhered to, and you've already pushed this date back. You've already pushed it back. It was supposed to be France, now it's Belgium. You already pushed it back damn near a month. And this is probably why, because these are things that are being found. Okay, so that skid wears out, offering more performance, more flexibility, and teams are using this. But what teams, Wolfpack, what teams are using this? Okay, let's see about that. We have Ted, who was doing his notebook walk during the Australian Grand Prix, talking, and, that's what he does. And Ted mentioned that Ferrari indeed is going to have to change their floor in order to adhere to the new technical directive. Confirmed that Matthias said, we're going to have to change it. It's going to have to be changed. So if you were already within spec and you were running within regs, you would not have to change your floor drastically. Evidently, changes need to take place because you're out of regs, which technically means your floor is illegal. Now, there hasn't been, I haven't seen, I'll say I haven't seen. If you've seen it, cool. If it hasn't, then I'm saying this. There hasn't been a report or something coming out about Red Bull being involved in having an illegal floor. But there is something to read into Christian Horner's quote as to, is Red Bull's floor illegal? Now let's get into that. All right, this is a quote. Christian Horner, the Red Bull team boss, is adamant that his squad has not been up to anything. All right, he says they haven't been up to anything. Not up to nothing. Now, we're going to go further in this quote, and I'll let you decide. That's total rubbish, he said. Now, this is the same guy who got up there and said zero tolerance for Red Bull as far as racial slurs, racism. We're not taking that. We cancel Yuri Vips, but then we find out Yuri Vips is still on the Red Bull team. This is the same dude that got up there and finagled and finessed the mic to make it seem like they were doing something to get ahead of the curve. Meanwhile, trying to justify why he did not come out and make a statement as to support Lewis Hamilton during the entire PK situation as other teams and drivers did, right? He made a bunch of excuses for that and reasons that he felt were valid, why they didn't address it. But, you know, we already canceled your events, but you didn't. This is the same dude, so I'm just putting it in context so you can know the character of the person that we are dealing with. And those are facts. Those are facts. So you can say what you want to in the comment section, but what I'm saying is a fact. Maybe he's referring to, I don't know, cars that are around him at the moment. Cars that are around him at the moment, okay? I have no idea, but I have absolutely no issue or concerns on our floor. That's what he says. Now coming into this next statement or sentence. Ferrari has admitted, however, that the clarification regarding new tests on the floor will require his squad, the Ferrari squad, to make some modifications. All right, make some modifications? Sure. Okay, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to change their floor, basically. Then he says, there will be some changes which will be required because now a new clarification has been issued with the new test, which is required on new requirements, new specifications, he says. It will take some time to do it, so at least I think it's good to relax it to Belgium because porpoising not being a subject, there is no need to rush. Come on now. Come on now, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop this. At some point in time, we gotta say, Christian, you full of shit. You full of shit. You right there gonna need to be some changes. While you trying to say, not you, your team is gonna be making changes. Your team is gonna be making changes. Now, can I say it's a fact? No, I can't say it's a fact because the way Christian finagled his quote, his statement, can't say it's a fact. But if you also have to make changes, and you glad you don't have to rush, so you got time, that would imply that your floor is not within regs per se. I'm just saying, y'all, we got to quit this shit. Like, we have to, at some point in time, it's not about being Red Bull. It's not about being Mercedes. It's not about being Ferrari. It's just about looking, like, exclude your biased opinions or exclude your biased support of a team or driver. Let's back out and just look at the sport in regards to the rules and regulations. And let's just say, clear the team names, clear the driver names, just put some type of symbols up there, square, circle, triangle, trapezoid, all that, and say, yo, this is not adhering to what we are reading. And if we unveil it, and so be it that it is your team or your driver, it is what it is. I myself even question that Mercedes having segments in their floor, although reports say that Mercedes' floor is not as complex or as involved as other teams' floors, which means Mercedes has a very basic structure, a very basic plank. There's nothing intricate about it. So although I have question about the segments being flexible, other teams are doing that. Okay, cool. So if other teams have the segments, that doesn't technically mean it's all within spec. It could be also other teams running segments are out of spec, including Mercedes. But then I go to this. Okay, what is Mercedes not doing? If Mercedes has a stiffer plank and they themselves are not concerned, even if the FIA came in today and measured the entirety of our plank, and this is what they're saying. Now, whether it's true or not is something else, but this is what it's saying. Just like we have to take Christian and Mattia for what they're saying. Well, Mattia is saying something that would indicate the plank is not right. Christian says something that would kind of indicate that maybe something's not quite right. That's all I'm taking right there. I'm just saying like that. That just indicates something. I'm not indicting anybody just yet, but I'm just saying it indicates something. We got to be able to at least be honest about things like that. That's all I'm saying. So let me know what you think as this develops. Let me know what you think about the increased amount of time the FIA has given either the grid or certain teams. Not saying which. Let me know what you think about the segment floor. Let me know what you think about the disappearing skid. Get in the comment section. Don't forget, we will be live today post-race for the finale lap where we have a good time going live. Also, somebody will be getting awarded a VIP box. They have earned enough points. So if you would like to come by, celebrate that, find out what's up with the VIP box, that's going to be a cool thing. If you start contributing and marking points to get your VIP box, I will make sure to introduce and invite people to be there to celebrate for you as well. I don't reveal that person until during finale lap. And there's membership if you want to join the channel. Comes with quirks, custom emojis, all types of other things. We're setting up a platform so we can literally verbally talk to each other about Formula One topics and our debates. All teams, all driver fans are welcome. It's not just, I don't need to be coined as a Lewis Hamilton channel. I like Lewis Hamilton because he's great. I like Lewis Hamilton because he's done great things in the sport. It's like do other athletes in other sports. Hell, I like Seb. Shit. I like Max Verstappen before his character proved that he's got shit character, but I still can speak highly of his ability on track. I like Lando. Lando having a rough time. I like Joe. Joe's having a real rough rookie season. Just saying, like, I like Daniel, but Daniel's fucked his career all to hell. I'm just being honest. Like, you move for the check and your career ain't been nothing since. Like, you're about to find your way out of McLaren, Daniel. But I'll get into that. That's a whole nother topic. Subscribe, like, channel. Let me know what you think. Peace. Thanks for tuning in and watching another video here at Wolfpack Performance. Check out some of my other content on Formula One issues, our topics, and our DIY products on how to customize your vehicle. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.